Om Shanti and good morning viewers. Welcome to this new session called Spiritual Significance of Corona. First of all, let me introduce our guest B.K. Bubbles Chetty, who is here to sail us through this voyage and having us experienced the glimpses of sweet spiritual significance or secrets. Good morning, Bhaiji.
Good morning, Swanaben.
We greatly appreciate having you here at the headquarters to put forth your presentation. Before starting, I would like to give a short introduction of our guest today. B.K. Bubbles Chetty, born and raised in South Africa, and now he is living in Australia for the last 16 years. And is also in this Gyan deeply involved for the last 16 years. He is a counselor and for Lifeline Australia, specializing in stress, tension, depression, suicide, rape, loneliness and old age, and also concentrating more on crisis management and disaster management. He is lecturer for adult education in the engineering faculty of technical, electrical, telecommunication and mechanical. Now, he has put everything on hold and is here in India for the last year just to serve Bharat and the residents of the Bharat particularly and the overseas in general. And he uses the theme, topic, presentation for critical times ahead, creating the awareness of global change. Bhaiji, as we all know that everyone out there in the world are more fearful, anxious and greatly panic about the stress, distress, havoc created by Corona. And we also understand that there are two sides for everything, to every situation, that's positive and negative. But it's mostly absurd that all of us, most of us, are focusing only on the negative side of it.
Yes.
As it is said, what you focus, you attract. As a result, we are exchanging only negative vibrations, exchanging these fearful vibrations that are there in the atmosphere, leading to the depletion of our own energy, which could have been used in a worthwhile way in combating Corona. Now, Bhaiji, my question is how the spirituality is going to help us with Corona and how it is going to heal the people.
Very good question, Swanaben. I will take you through a series of presentation in a PPT, and sometimes I'll focus down here on the laptop just to refer to the picture. So, very good question, because people today are looking at Corona as something negative. And they are focusing on all the negative aspects of Corona. But one needs to think, yes, Corona has brought many benefits. Also on how people could become introverted, introspection, to look deep in within themselves and see how we can harmonize our relationships with others. Because this is the first time in human history that the whole world is locked down. But this is nothing new. Corona has come to tell us that this is nothing new. It happened 5,000 years ago. It's happening now and it's going to happen again. Yeah? So this is why this theme topic is the spiritual benefits of Corona. There is benefit in everything in the world today. But it depends on the perception and understanding of each and every one. So Corona has also come as a teacher to teach us something new. This lockdown is the first lockdown in this cycle of 5,000 years, where the whole wide world is affected. It has also come as a warning sign to tell us more lockdowns are going to come ahead. So Corona is also a great teacher. Now, due to the lack of immunity of the soul or the spirit in a person, it leads to the lack of immunity of the physical body. Because this occurs in the mind, and the mind is part of the spirit or the soul. Where is it going to manifest this disease? The soul is sitting in their own body, not in someone else's body. It has to manifest in one's body. All disease will manifest as disease in the body. But also, it has come to tell us that we are at the end of the cycle of 5,000 years. And this is why Corona is closely linked to the Creator. But the Creator does not create Corona. The Creator does not cause pain, hurt, or suffering for anyone in this world. He is the bestower of happiness.
But still he is being defamed, Bhaiji, for this Corona.
Yes, because people do not understand that there is an opposition force against them which works against the Creator. But there's a reason for that too. It enables a soul to make spiritual endeavor, spiritual effort to clear away their bad karma, the negative tendencies, the negative traits. And today, people are caught up with materialistic greed, attachment to others, attachment to their own property, possessions. So God asked a question. Why do you think that there is so much of suffering in the world today? Do you know the answer for this? I will tell you. It is for the simple reason that man has forgotten to remember the Creator of creation. Instead, he is remembering creation. And creation cannot offer you anything. This is what man has forgotten, who the Creator is. So therefore, the acronym or the abbreviation of Corona, C-O-R-O-N-A, means Creator offers reopening of new age.
Wow, fabulous, Bhaiji. That's amazing. You have come up with a beautiful explanation for Corona. Amazing, isn't it?
I'm the instrument. It's coming from the divine.
Yeah, true.
So, people may wonder, what is the new age? All those who have got money thinks that they are in heaven. Yeah? So, what is happiness? Happiness is health plus wealth. If you have wealth and no health, do you have happiness?
No.
See? If you have the other one, vice versa, there's no happiness if you're missing one of them. So this is why this disease has come up in a very tamo-pradhan, impure age, which is the age of Kali Yuga. And people think there's many more thousands of years left. No. The Creator has come to teach us, to give us teachings that the world has come to an end, that we have to make spiritual effort to prepare for the return journey. So, immunity of the soul is only boosted. Spiritual power is only boosted through the connection with the divine power, which is the Creator. Yeah? So the Creator is also known as the spiritual surgeon, the eternal surgeon. And each one needs to get the injection.
That's why, Bhaji, there is a term in Hindi for him called Vaidyanath, or the Lord of the Doctors.
Yes. Because He is the highest on high, the doctor of all doctors, the husband of all husbands, the father of all fathers, the supreme father of each and every soul in this universe.
That you mean to say Karuna is going to be treated only through spirituality?
The most important aspect, the soul has fallen. He has forgotten his parent, his mother and father. So, take example, a family. Yeah? If he's got mother and father has 10 children, 5 children are the parents' favorite. They follow all the rules and directions of the home. And the other 5? Don't care, have a don't care attitude. They squander the parents' money, get involved in drugs. So who do you think get involved in drugs, alcohol? Which children will be safe and which children will not be safe?
The one who follows their parents.
Yeah. So this also happens in the unlimited world history and geography. The Supreme Parent is there, but some of them do not care. They follow the 5 elements of matter. They follow man. They bow down to man. And this is the greatest mistake, because man is impure and tamo-pradhan in this time of the cycle. Because yoga means connection. Yeah? Today in Kali Yuga, everything is impure. When you take your mind to something impure, you receive the good qualities as well as the bad qualities. Yeah? So having yoga with the 5 elements. But when you take your mind to the divine and your intellect to the divine, He is ever pure, the only purifier. Remembering Him will make the soul pure and clean. So, the eternal surgeon gives us the injection of yoga and this knowledge. So Corona has come to tell us that the Father is also a supreme teacher. He is teaching us at the end of the cycle to prepare ourselves to have a high immunity and to become very strong and powerful mentally, spiritually and physically. But people have forgotten the method because it has already gone 5,000 years. So this is a major problem. Shall we move on to the next slide?
Yes, definitely, Bhaji.
Now, if you look at the slide, I mentioned something about energies. Yeah? The soul is the higher energy, the higher self, the spirit in the body. This is one energy which has to be transformed now during the end of the cycle. But the soul, if he does not have the introduction of the Creator, he does not know how to transform. Yeah? So, the other energy is the higher power, the supreme power, the supreme soul. Yeah. And the other energy is the negative force, which does not allow you to remember the Creator. It takes you away. He or she, the negative force, is there to make you claim an elevated number in this world. Each soul is operating at a different frequency of elevation. So this is why every soul is number-wise. But the more we connect to the Divine Father, the more elevated we become. And we receive the elevated fruit. But those who don't care of their body, and they say, I don't care about this corona, and I want to go here, there, every way, it's actually suicide of the body. Because that disease is also carried over. This is why you will find new babies are coming up with diseases. Because the last birth, they never made effort to cure their bodies. And this is another problem Corona has come to warn us about. So effort is required. I will show you further down the cycle how the time changes and the exact precise time that we are now in the cycle. The other energy is the energy of the drama. Yeah? God is bound by the drama. We are bound by the drama. Corona is also bound by the drama. As I say, God does not create the corona, but God comes to warn us about diseases, natural calamities, and also the great Mahabharat war, the Third World War, the final war that will open the gates to heaven. That is the new age we're talking about. Creator offers reopening of new age, Corona. This Corona is closely linked with the Creator. So far, thus far, you make sense?
Yes.
Okay. A little bit on science and spirituality. Science needs spirituality. And spirituality also needs science at the end of the cycle of 5,000 years, especially in the last 100 years when the Creator descends. Because science is used for destruction of this old dirty world, yeah? By the manufacture of bombs and all this. Even this corona is a biological warfare, whether you take it to be biological warfare, but it's the beginning of the Third World War. Yeah? Because man has created this with scientists in a military laboratory. So, Corona has come to warn us about the Third World War. The world is not going to get any better. Well, after Corona it will pick up, but thereafter it's going to decline. There are going to be more lockdowns. So whether you refer Corona as eating meat or biological warfare, when a soul pays another man to take a body away from an animal soul, he is robbing that soul of a pound of flesh. No soul wants to have pain, wants to leave their body. Obviously, the ones that eat impure food will also get involved in Corona because the soul is taking impurities. So these are closely linked. Now, talking about energy, as you are aware, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Yeah, it can be transformed. So self-transformation is going to bring about world transformation. And who is teaching us this self-transformation? Is the highest on high Father, the Creator of heaven, the new age. He has warned us this old age is going to be destroyed. In the next slide, I'll explain this to you even better. Because the law of entropy, we'll discuss this in the next slide. But I want to touch on a little bit on remembrance and forgetfulness. If I ask you, can you remember something that you did last week this time?
No, vaguely.
Vaguely, right? So if I ask you, can you remember something last month this time? And if I ask you, can you remember something you did last year this time? Can you see? The soul has forgotten over a long period of 5,000 years. He has forgotten himself, who he is. This is why the word human being, humus, physical, coming from the ground, yeah, with the food we eat. But the being part is the subtle part, and this is what we are touching on. It's a spiritual part. It is the subtle that affects the physical. So obviously, if the soul has forgotten itself, it has forgotten the Father over this long period of 5,000 years. So now, the soul is searching. Where do I get power from? Like we had a discussion the other day. You said, a mobile phone cannot get power from a mobile phone. Yeah?
Can't be charged.
Yeah. It has to be plugged into the power source to gain power. And today man is trying to take power from sages, saints, holy men. He's trying to take power from the 5 elements of matter, idols, non-living images, founders of religion who has come and gone. How can creation give you power when they cannot sustain themselves? They have died and gone. So man has forgotten the powerhouse, the creator of creation, the new world order.
That's why I reminded of a saying, like self-knowledge alone eradicates misery. This is how you have come about. Now I'm trying to realize that saying, how it exactly means to us, Bhai.
Yes, but people think God creates sorrow. No, God does not create this dirty world. This is not God's world. God creates the new age, which is the golden age and the silver age of mankind. Sati Yuga and Treta Yuga. After that, the drama becomes old, the world becomes old. Like a tree, it's got a lifespan. Your car, your home, everyone, your body has got a lifespan. First it is new, then it begins to deteriorate. Yeah? So, man has used this earth to such an extent that Mother Earth cannot give any more. Yeah? And this is why you've got barren land, because there is about close to 8 billion souls, actors in the playing field. 8 billion bodies have come out of this earth. This fertilizer has to go back in order for the earth to be renewed and rejuvenated. So, Corona has also come to tell us that the world is not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. So, it is a warning. And now, the task of the Creator is to purify all human souls and purify the 5 elements of matter in this universe. When the Creator sends a soul down from the soul world, He sends that soul absolutely pure with no defects. Like, have you seen a baby? Yeah. So innocent, no defects. Who do you think spoils that child? It's their own parents, friends, relatives, colleagues. Yeah? So, all the Father asks of you, before you come up, you have attained all the layers of negativity, the layers of vices, arrogance, body consciousness, ego, greed, to remove these layers, and before you come back up to the soul world. If you do not make that effort, then it's a problem. So Corona has come to tell us to start making ourselves elevated and pure, so we can live a wonderful life ahead. in the next birth. So we are preparing for the return journey. Any questions on this slide? Shall we move to the next one?
Yes, we can move.
Yeah. Now, I've seen many pictures about healing the world. People are kissing the world. And these people do not know what is going to happen. Mother Earth, the drama, is saying to the Father, it's gone 4,984 years. I only can give for 5,000 years. But now we have to prepare. The tectonic plates, due to heavy friction, is heating up and the world is going to crack. So the Father is warning his spiritual children, and his spiritual children is warning the rest of the world now. So that the world is going to give way to many natural calamities. Drought, torrential rain, volcanic activity, earthquakes, tsunamis. This is all cleansing of this world.
Can it be healed, Bhaiji, the whole world? How your spirituality is going to heal the world? How it is going to help us?
This world at the moment in Kali Yuga cannot be healed. It's beyond repair. Man has done a lot of damage to it. So the only way it can be healed is to work with the Divine Father, pull His power through the power of yoga into your soul, to heal yourself and the 5 elements of matter in your body, and to heal other souls through your divine drishti, and to give the drishti to the 5 elements of matter, to the whole globe, because this globe is going to be rejuvenated, revamped, recreated. So the law of entropy states that this world that we live in there's only one world where humans live in. People think, scientists have been through the moon, the stars, Mars, all other planets. They found nothing. They wasted so much of money and funding over these projects because of the arrogance of science. And as a result, people are suffering with no money, no food. They went deep down into the ocean, but they cannot go deep down into themselves to realize what is going on. To go deep within is to have self-realization and God realization. So, in a closed system, the world cannot take power from another planet.
Yes, I want to know what is exactly meant by closed loop system, Bhaiji?
The closed loop system is the world operates on its own energy and the energy from the divine. Yeah? But through the law of entropy, when energy changes, transformed, there's some residue created, which is pollution. And this pollution also affects the atmosphere in the universe, like the ozone layer. Now someone has to clean this, and someone has to restore this world back to normal. No man, no scientist can dare to put this world right. It is only the task of our heavenly God the Father, our Creator. And this is why Corona is telling us to remove your mind and your intellect from everyone physical, all the creation, and go straight to the Creator. Because the world is going to change. Whether you like it or not, change is inevitable. Whether you make effort or not, the new world order, Satya Yuga, has to come. So, the energy of the Father, through our yoga power, changes the old world of Kali Yuga into Satya Yuga. Impure human beings into pure human beings. Changes devils into deities. And he changes the Stamoguni, the Stamo-Pradhan world into the Satoguni, the Sato-Pradhan world. The pure world. And only the Creator can perform this task. So self-healing, healing of others, healing of the planets and the world is also done through yoga power. Via power from the Creator and into this universe. Samjha? Understand?
Hanji.
Shall we move
Yes,
ahead?
yes.
So, Mother Earth is saying to the Father, Brahma is saying to the Father, warn your children. So this is why the Creator has come down to warn us.
That means his intervention is required, is
Yes.
essential.
Yes, divine intervention. So let's go to the next slide. This slide tells us about the new earth and the new world. You know, scientists have predicted that the axes are shifting. Yes, the energy and power of the ice in the north and south poles is actually water in a solid state. As the axes shift, this ice is going to thaw, and the rest of the world is going to be underwater. Yeah? This has to happen. So this world, in another slide I will show you, scientists have predicted this, and a lot of people are understanding that the world has to change, and someone has to change it. And the whole are looking for the new world order. Do not mistake the new world order with the underground den and the new world order with the Supreme Father. The new world order of the Supreme Father is inevitable. It has to come.
But whereas these scientists, Vaiji, they think themselves to be superior to the spirituality, then why didn't they come up with a medicine for this corona?
If these scientists created this for biological warfare, they have already created the antivirus. Because that scientist will die before you know it if he did not create the antivirus. So,
Yeah.
there's two types of scientists. One with a pure intellect, soul conscious. Take example, Einstein. He does not care about his body, his hair, his looks. He is soul conscious, looking for new ideas from divine intervention, talking to the higher power. But a body conscious scientist with arrogance, when he tries to invent something, he will invent something to destroy. Because he's got a tamopradhan intellect. He does not believe in the divine power. So his intellect is used for destruction. So this is why they say science is used for destruction and for construction. It has dual purpose in this age of the confluence age, which is known as Sangam Yuga, the most auspicious diamond age.
But it's wonderful, Vaiji, how it is going to be used for establishment of a new world, science.
I don't have this picture here, but I will show you one picture of the golden age, where Krishna is with his family, and also they're sitting in a Vaiman, a flying vehicle.
Viman.
And this vehicle is a soundless machine that works on nuclear energy. When the soul is pure, nuclear energy cannot affect the 5 elements of matter in the body. So scientists will create this in this confluence age for Sati Yuga, the flying vehicle. There's no scooter, motorbike, cars or buses or trucks. Each one have a flying vehicle. How beautiful.
Yeah.
Huh? God makes us into the masters of the world, but He does not become the master of that world. He goes into retirement. And this is what Corona has come to tell us. The Creator is performing His unlimited task of world transformation. And there is a deadline to this. The 5,000th year, everything will be changed. All of us will go up into liberation. Shall I move to the next slide?
Definitely, Vaiji.
Now, just touching on healing and Sakash. It is the spirit of the soul that gives the power to the 5 elements of matter. Yeah? But if it's lacking power, what do you think it should do? It should take power from the higher source, the higher power. Take it into the soul and out through the eyes. Yeah? So this is one part of healing. When the soul is pure and divine, it becomes a natural healer. Because It's transmitting pure vibrations, pure thoughts. No negativity. It's the negativity that causes the disease. It affects your immunity system of the soul and the immunity system of the body, and which welcomes and opens the door to diseases. Yeah? Shall I move to the next slide?
Yes, yes, please, Bhaji.
This slide is a little bit about the unlimited history and geography. Yeah, it's called Pangaea, but
What is
scientists...
Pangaea, Bhaji?
Pangaea means the world was one before, and one ocean, one land, and it's split into different countries, continents, and islands. Scientists, archaeologists, and researchers have proved this. Yeah? So, because our Supreme Father, Supreme Teacher, teaches us about this unlimited history and geography, in the first 2,500 years, it was one land, one ocean, one country, one language, one system of government. Each and every soul was perfectly happy. No diseases, no churches, no temples, no priests, no rituals. They were ever healthy, happy, and prosperous. This was during this era. The era of Rama, the Divine Father. Rama's kingdom, first 2,500 years. After the first destruction.
We can also call it as Swarga, heaven,
yes,
paradise.
Swag, heaven, paradise. But that is heaven. The Garden of Eden or the Garden of Allah. Same thing. Yeah? But after 2,500 years, it splits into countries, continents, and islands. Yeah, after the first destruction. When the number one soul, the number one couple, indulges in the forbidden fruit, and that is called the apple. This is when the destruction takes place. Yeah? Our brother in America, Red Indian. Our brother in Australia, Aboriginal. Our brother in New Zealand, Maori. In Africa, African. We all adapted to the 5 elements of matter according to the climatic conditions of that country. Our brother in the UK, fair skin, long nose, blonde hair, blue eyes, cold. In Africa, hot. So we adapted to this situation. But very uniquely and profoundly, the Father finds all His children that scattered all over the world, and they come here to this headquarters for the meeting of the Creator. And this is what amazes me here, that there's translation of so many languages. Who has the power to bring all of them together? It's the task of the Divine Father. So now, these countries, continents and islands have to come back together into one land, one ocean, one language, one religion, one system of government. And Corona has come to teach us that the final destruction will take place through natural calamities, and the final world war will open the gates to heaven and close the gates of Ravan, Maya, Iblis, or the devil.
That means she has become number one instrument for God or helping him in his task, Bhaji?
Yes. The opposition power is there for a reason. It comes to give you a test paper to see whether you influenced on the devil's side or the side of God. It's there to give you a number. How many test papers you pass or fail is recorded in your subconscious mind. But the final test paper is on leaving this body. I will show you a slide in connection with that. We'll move on. So that's the new age on the left and the old age on the right. Interesting. Eh?
Beautiful.
Very unique. Now this is a very important picture. And the Father has given us this vision of this picture. The cycle of 5,000 years. This world only goes on for 5,000 years. Nothing more, nothing less. But this is a different presentation, which is a sequel to this one. But I want to explain to you, just in a nutshell, that white shaded area is when God Shiva descends in the land of Bharat. It's a period of 100 years. Yeah? Hence the term Shiv Jayanti. He does not come in any other age. He comes at the end of the 5,000 years, which is Kali Yuga, the iron age of mankind, the darkest age of mankind, when the sorrow, pain, hurt, suffering, brother killing brother, relationship between mother and son is perverted, father and daughter is perverted. So much of suffering, religious leaders are getting in corruption and trouble when man has fallen.
But still people are searching for him, even after him to come here at the end of the... He's been here for the last... How many years, Bhaji?
Because no one has got his message. They are still realizing, but through these presentations, we send this message out. Our Supreme Father descends and creates the World Spiritual University called the Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University. This university is not created by men. It is created directly by the Creator himself, by Father Shiva. And all his spiritual children send this message to the rest of the world. Because there has to be a difference. If I go and tell somebody outside, oh, God has come. If he is totally impure, he is not going to understand who is God. You understand? Only his closest children who helped him in the last cycle will help him again, will come here and help him again. This is part of the rosary. I will show you further down the slide as well. But this white section is called the confluence age, the diamond age, Sangam Yuga. It is the age between Kali Yuga and Sati Yuga, age between Iron Age and Golden Age, the age between the impure world and the pure world. The Father comes into this dirty world to make impure ones pure. So, the first 2,500 years is Rama's kingdom, the second 2,500 years is Ravan's kingdom. Yeah? But every human being is part of the cycle of birth and death. There is only one entity outside the cycle of birth and death. Do you know why this is so? Because if that entity belonged to the cycle of birth and death, there will be total annihilation. Because that entity is outside pain and suffering, birth and death. He is the bodiless image. Father Shiva, also known as Rudra. He is the only one can cleanse and purify all souls, and can cleanse and purify the 5 elements of matter, thus making Kali Yuga into Sati Yuga. He is the only bestower of liberation and liberation in life. There has to be one entity who can fix up this whole universe and put right what has gone wrong. And this is why they say there's only one country that becomes hell, and there's only one country that becomes heaven. Which is this country?
Definitely it is Bharat.
Bharat is India.
India.
In this land, there are images, non-living images of the emperors and empresses, kings and queens, princes and princesses. Deities ruled in this land. No other land deities ruled in. And the Father descends in this land to make the corrupted human beings of Bharat back into divine human beings. But they don't realize this. So it's the only land that becomes corrupted, and it's the only land that becomes elevated. And this is a very important aspect to understand, because lots of Bharatvasis don't realize that they are divine. They need the spiritual upliftment and awakening. So this is a special land, and that is why I put the job on hold. I leave Australia and come to this land, because I realize the importance of time. Because everything is going to be destroyed. Whatever money people have, friends, relatives, wealth, it's all going to be destroyed. Because a new world order has to be created. So Corona has come to teach us about this world cycle of 5,000 years. And man says in the scriptures, there is still 40,000 years left.
Yeah.
But who are we going to listen to? Man who wrote the scriptures, or our Supreme Father, our Creator?
Definitely to our Father.
So Corona is telling us to forget about man, forget about everything physical, concentrate directly on the Creator. Because over 2,500 years we've been performing prayer, bhakti, searching in the scriptures, going on physical pilgrimages, searching for God, the ultimate, the highest on high. And all those children who are close to Him have been crying out, "Oh, Purifier, come, please come and destroy this dirty world." But no man or founder of religion dared to destroy this dirty world. They only speak of what they learn in the scriptures. So this knowledge that is given to us now is the knowledge of the true Gita. The other Gita was written in the Copper Age. Yeah? After 2,500 years. Who wrote that Gita? Man wrote that Gita. And then he added more pages. And the Gita went thicker and thicker. So the 18th chapter of the Gita is to become an embodiment of remembrance of the Supreme Father, Father Shiva.
You mean to say that Gita was spoken by God Himself, Shiva? But they say Lord Krishna.
There is a great mistake. Krishna does not come in the Copper Age. He has taken 84 births throughout the cycle. Every birth he has a different name, form, age, country, language, parents, home, city. He does not come in the Copper Age. Krishna can only appear in the Golden Age, Satya Yuga. So where is the Krishna soul now? Where would he be? He is sitting in the body of Brahma. And this is why God takes this body on loan and gives this message through Father Brahma to make him back into the number one prince of heaven again, Krishna. So through the purpose of reincarnation...
That means Father Shiva speaks this knowledge through Brahma?
Yes, very true.
In his previous birth he was Krishna.
Yes, not in his previous birth.
In a first birth, in his first birth in the cycle.
First birth is Krishna. Because there's another picture called the Veera trope. The different faces
variety form image.
Yeah, the variety form image of Krishna, which is Father Brahma. So, in the Gita it says God speaks.
Yeah.
And it also says man man above. Be mine with your mind. Yeah?
Yeah, it is not said that tan tanabhav.
Yes. So, our Father Shiva performs his divine acts through this body of Brahma and creates the Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University. We'll explain this in another program more in detail, but just to show you that the cycle only goes on for 5,000 years, not 40,000 years. And the number one soul takes 84 births, not 8.5 million births or 8.4 million births. There's a mistake in the scriptures. Shall we move on?
Yes, definitely, Baj.
This graph is especially to tell you, in the last 5,000 years, we have been descending. Whether we worshipped a guru, saint, holy man, or the scriptures, or stone, or idols, or the sun or the moon, No one could ascend. We have been coming down, right down. So today, this year, where have we come down to? What age, what time in the cycle are we? If you look at the graph.
It is the fair again, that is 4,984.
Yes, exactly, precisely this year, Shiv Jayanti was 4,984 years. And those who listen to this knowledge will start to ascend, go up the ascending stage, because you can see 5,000 years is not far off. And you start falling into the Diamond Age, the Confluence Age, Sangam Yuga. And you ascend right to the peak performance of your elevated stage through this knowledge and yoga. So man has been descending and no one were ascending previously. So if you look at the Golden Age, if you draw a line down, it's 1,250 years. Silver Age, if you draw a line down, it brings you to 2,500 years. So is Dwapara Yoga, and Kali Yuga at the end is 5,000 years. So when you take this knowledge, you automatically come out of Kali Yuga and you're going into Sangam Yuga. This is very important to remember. But when you forget the Father and you forget the knowledge, you go back into Kali Yuga. But if you stay with the Father and stay connected, Corona can never affect you. Because the soul is powerful, the body is powerful. The 5 elements of matter recharges. And nothing can touch you. Because there is going to be more diseases coming up, which man does not know. So Corona has come to tell us, be aware of what's coming up in the future. The Father is warning us through this Corona program. Understand how we descend and how we start to ascend.
Yes,
yeah?
right.
No scriptures can make us ascend.
Yeah.
It's only the knowledge from the Creator to His creation. Yeah? This is a beautiful picture. You know, once, as I grew up, my mother said, remember Shiva, he is the highest on high. But I still did not understand who is Shiva. I went to the temple to observe the Shiva Lingam. And people used to pour milk and water and everything. And every Shiv Jayanti, I used to do the same. But I noticed so much of milk is going down the drain, wastage. So I realized God cannot be inside the stone, but it's a symbolic of the Creator, Father Shiva. Yeah? But still, I love going to the temple and celebrating Shiv Jayanti. But I noticed people touch this bull before they go to Shiva. Yeah? It's important to understand that Father Shiva, when he comes to give us his knowledge, this bull is actually the Brahma bull, Brahma. God does not take the chariot of an animal or a bull. He takes a human chariot on loan because he is bodiless. Yeah. He has to take a mouth on loan to give this knowledge. So this is just a symbolic of the Creator on the path of devotion. We were following devotion for 2,500 years. But we don't understand the spiritual significance of this bull and of that Shiva Lingam. Yeah? Any questions on this one?
No, we'll move ahead.
Okay. This picture, just to show you that Father Brahma is the number one soul of this whole universe. He is also known as Prajapita, the father of humanity. So this is why God takes the number one soul, the body of the number one soul in his last and final birth. And by the way, this is our last and final birth here in this Kali Yuga. Fair enough, those who are old, about to leave, will take a new birth. Yeah? But this body is the chariot of God. The horse of Hussein. It's a one and the same thing. Yeah? It's a lucky chariot. He has the intoxication that he is going to become Krishna. Yeah? So God gives us the grass of knowledge through the mouth of Brahma. The mouth of Brahma is also known as Gwamukh, yeah? Where the Ganges of knowledge flows from. Yeah? It's nothing to do with water. Ganges of knowledge, it means knowledge from the Father. Knowledge is power. Yeah? And this is how we become powerful. So he uses that mouth to speak, and also these eyes to give the drishti, divine drishti. Yeah? The bodiless image, Shiva, sitting in this body, two souls can sit in one body and speak through one mouth. This is an amazing story. Okay.
But can you throw some light on this aspect, Bhaji? People ask why God has to enter only this body? Why he doesn't take the support of other bodies?
Very interesting question. See, if God takes the 10th soul, or the 9th soul, or the 2nd soul, his character is different. His character was not elevated in the last cycle. He was not the first prince of heaven. So people ask this question, why do you have to take that body on loan? Because that is the number one child of God. He made the most amount of effort. He was a diamond merchant. He sacrificed all his funding, all his money, and he has helped God to build this yagya. Just look at Gyan Sarovar alone. It's like heaven. It brings in so many thousands of double foreigners. Look at Pandav Bhavan, look at Shantivan. 22,000 souls or 25,000 souls at one Milan, one meeting, who is fed 3-course meal, even 4-course, even 5-course, and tea in the morning, tea midday, tea in the afternoon. Who has the power to do this? Eh? By the way, God does not need any money. Everything is done through the soul's own effort here in the Brahma Kumaris. So, Brahma made the most amount of effort, the number one effort. And his fruit for making this effort is the first prince of heaven. He is sustained very well because he has performed pure charity. He has got, that's why they say he's got 1,000 harms. Yeah? He's brought many souls closer to God. So is Radhe, which is Mama now. So God has to take the body of the number one soul in this whole wide world, which is the Krishna soul. I'll explain in the Trimurti how Krishna works with God and how Shankar works with God. Yeah? But look at this picture carefully. By the way, you remember this was in Delhi.
Yes.
The capital of Bharat. And if you look at this cake, it's an oval-shaped cake, the color of the incorporeal world, the soul world, where Father Shiva resides. And if you look at 84, this Shiv Jayanti is a very important celebration in this whole wide world. In actual fact, the government should make this a holiday in Bharat and the whole wide world, because this is the most important celebration. The confluence age is all about celebration and being happy. Yeah? If the soul is carrying negativity, it cannot experience happiness. So Corona has also come to tell us to celebrate, not to worry, not to be negative. More negativity, more Corona. More positivity, no Corona. So, after the birth of Shiva, this is Shiva's birthday, 84th Shiv Jayanti means he has come here for 84 years, and men outside those do not realize this. He has come here for 84 years, and after the birth of Shiva is the birth of the Gita. And after the birth of the Gita is the birth of Krishna.
What is meant with birth of Gita, Bhaji?
God Shiva, in the Gita it says God speaks. It does not say Krishna speaks. So the birth of the Gita means that this is the birth of the true knowledge that the Father is giving us about the past, the present and the future. Where we were, where we are and where we're going to go. And mind you, no man can say this. So, if Krishna spoke, yeah, Krishna was a little child. Who would be higher than him? Him or his father or his teacher? Can you understand?
Oh, yeah. His
So
father.
if a teacher teaches Krishna, it means he's higher than Krishna. So God Shiva, the highest on high, the creator. Shiva means the benefactor father, the seed of creation and point source. And implies that there can be no other creator above him. He does not have parents, he only has all his children. Yeah? He is the father of only souls. Brahma is the father of all human beings. Yeah? There are two fathers in the confluence age. Actually three. Your physical father, Father Brahma and Father Shiva. So this is why this Shiv Jayanti is a very auspicious event. It should be celebrated with great splendor and happiness. Because you are directly connected with the Divine Father.
Because He is the highest on high, the Father of all of us souls.
Yes. Even the last number soul.
Yeah.
He is the Father of the last number soul.
No, that is why it is now sensing me, Bhaji, it gives, so much of sense. That Gita Jayanti follows by Shiv Jayanti, not Krishna Jayanti.
Yes.
You mean to say, no?
Yes.
That
After
means
the
this knowledge was spoken by Shiva when he enters, and then we have this celebration of Gita, birth, and later that is again the reward. By studying this knowledge, someone or
Yes.
soul would become Krishna or equal to Krishna.
Exactly. And Krishna does not teach. Why? To teach is a lower status. He receives the reward of the first Prince of Heaven. He is also not a herd boy. As a Brahma soul, he herds all the spiritual children. Yeah? So people have given Krishna different titles. They even painted him blue. But Krishna is the number one soul, the highest on high soul, human soul. That Shiva, God, Father Shiva, the creator, creates the number one creation. And his last and final birth as Brahma. Brahma is the creator. Yeah? But Shiva is the unlimited creator. So any questions? So people try to find God by reading the scriptures and so forth. God cannot be found through the scriptures. Yeah? God is the only bestower of happiness and the only remover of sorrow. He does not cause unhappiness for anyone. And this is why He is praised. But the opposition power is not praised. He is burnt. Yeah? The one who is praised, temples are built to the one who is praised. You know there are many temples built to Shiva in Bharat. Eh?
Yeah.
So, I've got this picture here just to draw an analogy between the transmission. A transmission tower is normally high up. And so high up in the mountain, the higher it goes, the greater area of coverage it has. Yeah? God Shiva, in the physical plane as well as the spiritual plane, He is most elevated. So if someone's praying here, but they're looking up, they know that the Supreme Father, the Creator, is high up above, far north, into the incorporeal world. Like the picture on the right, you'll see, Father Shiva is a brilliant shiny star. Yeah? And that's the incorporeal world, radiating His frequency. What is His frequency? we need to understand his frequency. Very, very important. In the next slide, as we go along, I will explain this to you. Yeah? So, the mind is also a transmitter and receiver. And when we tune in into God's frequency, we become light. And we also take might. Yeah? So this transmission is occurring from Father Shiva all the time. But souls who are not interested in tuning into his frequency obviously will get corona. Those who tune into his frequency are not susceptible to corona. Because purification only takes place in the remembrance of the Creator, the Supreme Father. So take a look at this picture. This is the vision of Paramdam. Meditation is very important to take place in this region, especially 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. It's the land of liberation, Shantidam, Nirvana, Brahmloka, but commonly known as the sweet silent home of all souls and the Supreme Soul. So, in this picture, it shows all souls are there in the soul world. But at this moment in time, about 7.8 billion souls are not there. They are in the physical plane. Yeah? So, we have to prepare for the return journey back home into this land of liberation. And this is why the Father is saying to us to make effort to take out all the bad habits, all the defects that is sitting within the soul. If we don't remove it, more disease and corona can affect you. This corona is linked very closely to the Creator and his teachings, but people don't understand this. So this lockdown has come to warn everyone as well. It can get worse if they do not listen. It can become easy if the follow is Srimat, the elevated versions of God Father Shiva. Yeah?
Yeah.
This picture I just want to show you. Father Shiva is light energy emanating and radiating the frequency of light. Yeah? But he is bodiless. He cannot hear you. He cannot see you because he hasn't got eyes. Yeah? But he has to take a body on loan and uses that body, the body of Brahma, in his last and final birth, and sees through that eyes to give divine drishti. So, it's important to know that he is a shiny star, a pure point of light, heavenly God the Father. Yeah? Now, pure white light put through a prism would give you 7 different colors.
Yes.
And the light of God has 7 energies through these 7 different colors. And as you know, is the ocean of joy, peace, love, hope, bliss, truth. Is also the ocean of mercy. Is the ocean, unlimited ocean of unlimited powers, treasures and virtues.
Oh, that is why it's called as Shiva Sagar.
Yes. And is the unlimited server of the whole wide world. So, this is just to show you God is radiating pure white light. But this light energy has got many different colors mixed in it. Many different powers. Yeah? This picture, just to show you, Father Shiva emphasizes on open eye meditation. When one closes the eyes, it is equated to rest of sleep. Their meditation or yoga is inaccurate. They lose their awareness. Yeah? They have dreams, visions, remember friends, family. They become drowsy. And they fall off to sleep. They think this is meditation is relaxing. But no. Meditation is an active state of mind. It has to be with full alertness and awareness of what the mind is doing and where the intellect is concentrating on. Open eye meditation Your eyes are the receptors to light energy. Blessings from other people and God's light enters the windows of the soul, the spirit. Yeah? Through your eyes and into the soul. So this is why Father Shiva in his lectures emphasizes on open eye meditation. Do not close your eyes. Because this is where the soul gains power and every action, thought, word, deed becomes accurate and precise. If we're making mistakes, it means that our yoga is not accurate.
But people find it difficult to have this yoga with open eyes, Bhaiji.
Yes, for a few seconds you can shut it, you can close it. Yeah, because meditation shouldn't be, you shouldn't have a headache. It should be with easiness and lightness. Yes, my Divine Father, I've come to meet you. I'm focusing on your light energy. It should be a chit-chat, a very easy chit-chat. Not I've come here and I'm sitting up straight and I want to focus on you, but I'm battling, other thoughts are coming and I want to close my eyes, I want to rest. So, best you rest well and then you meditate, but with easiness and love. If love is there, your mind and intellect is automatically connected with your eyes open. You must have love for the Divine Father.
But on the path of devotion, we've been, habituated with, doing prayers with closed eyes.
Path of devotion is all blind faith. Is this physical or spiritual?
Definitely it is physical.
Physical. Closing your eyes.
Physical.
Huh? It's actually blind faith to close your eyes. Path of devotion is blind faith. Everything is done physical. When I turn the lamp, what is this? Physical or spiritual?
Physical.
Physical. So man has come down the ladder, not realizing what he was doing, but he did it with lots of love and devotion. God answered his prayers. But one thing, the sins of the past many births, the defects cannot be absorbed. Only through this open eye meditation, sins of many births is cleared from the subconscious mind. Bad karma, bad thoughts, bad words, bad deeds, bad actions, and bad sanskars is reprogrammed. It's actually submerged. And golden age sanskaras are emerged. And this is why we live a better quality of life when we focus on the divine open eye. Because if you close your eyes, light energy will refract, will bounce back. Reflection takes place. But when you open your eyes, these are the windows to your spirit. The soul sees through the eyes. I am seeing, the soul is seeing. I am receiving energy. Yes, Baba. If I take a full deep breath with an open eye and you remember God, you can feel the vibration through the whole part of your body. Just if you take 3 seconds to do this, when you practice it, the vibrations come through automatically. But when you shut your eyes, you are in darkness, no light. Although you're battling to use your third eye, but the awareness is not there, not created. Yeah. So
but how your drishti is going to affect this Karuna's energy, Bhaiji?
Yes, open eye, it will have a positive impact on Corona. Closed eye, no impact, no effect. So Corona has come to teach us how to perform open eye meditation, the accurate meditation with the Divine Father. You can see the Creator. This is how you absorb His power, treasures, virtues. Shall we move on?
Yes.
If you take a look at this slide, whenever anyone is experiencing pain or want blessings, they point upwards. Yeah? All religions around the globe have some sort of image, idol or memorial representing the form of light that God is. Amongst Hindus, they have something called the Jyoti Lingam, Shiva Lingam, in the temples, amongst the deities. He's amongst the deities because he has created the deities. But he has an image without a human form. But when viewed from above, it's oval shape. They refer to God Shiva as Jyoti. Jyoti meaning light. Yeah? The incorporeal one, the Supreme Father. In the holy place of Mecca, there's an oval-shaped stone called the Sanji Aswad. Devotees on pilgrimage to Hajj kiss this holy stone. And this refers to God Allah, Nur. Nur meaning light. Nuri Lahi. So, Christians also, Jesus Christ said that God is light. When they pray, they light a candle, and the flame of the shape of that candle is oval in shape. They refer to God as Jehovah. Jehovah meaning light. The ancient Egyptian worshipped God, the sun as God. Moses had the vision of God when he had seen the flames of the burning bush. The Zoroastrians or Parsis worshipped God as fire. A Buddhist sect in Japan focused their mind on a little oval image called the Kani or the peace giver. They refer to the creator as Shinkon Sheki. So it seems, therefore, all religions have been trying to discover and worship the very same God. There is only one God, and His form is a form of a point of light, radiant energy, which is known by many different names amongst many different cultures. But here in Bharat, the common name is Shiva, Rudra, Halla, Kuda, also Ishwar, Prabhu, Amarnath, Somnath, Rama. There are many different names for him. But take a look at all these founders of religion. These are men. Yeah? Are they physical or spiritual?
Physical.
Physical. They are part of creation. They are not the creator. Founders of religion can only bring souls down from the soul world, but cannot take them back up. Yeah? That's the only purpose, is to bring souls from the soul world. They did not even write the scripture. They spoke it, but man wrote the scriptures. Then man kept adding on pages through saints, prophets, and so on. But how do you know no souls went back up? How do you know that?
The growth of population right now, what we have.
Yes.
Millions, billions of people.
In the last 100 years, the population trebled. Now there's approximately 7.8 billion souls in the playing field. If souls were going back up, the population would decrease. Yeah? So each soul, founder of religion, is here in the playing field at the moment, in a different body, but in their most elevated stage of their own religion. And those who take this knowledge from different religions will receive a high status in their own religion. Yeah? So this is why everyone points upwards and look upwards. So no founder of religion can be God. No man can be God, and no God can be man. Corona has come to teach us this, because when they're suffering, they're crying out. Even the last number soul, who claims to be an atheist, against his conscious wish, he will cry out, OMG. Who is this OMG? Are they crying out to the founders of religion? No. They're crying out to, oh, my Almighty Father. The soul, against his conscious wish, will cry out to God, because He is the Father of all souls. Yeah? Any questions about this?
No, Bhajan. We'll go ahead.
So to worship man is to worship the 5 elements of matter. Yeah? So that one is the bodiless one, Father Shiva. He cannot be beaten because he does not have a body of his own. Yeah? So let's move on. This is very important. Omnipresence. You know, Corona also has come to teach us that our Creator cannot be omnipresent. Yeah? Simply, people from various religions have put him in the stones, pebbles and stones. Yeah? If he is in the pebbles and stones, can you walk on him and tramp on him?
No.
So this is why this is defamation of God. It's a very sinful action. And Corona is warning everyone to come out of this notion of omnipresence, because God can never be omnipresent.
But we have been considering on the path of bhakti that calling himself omnipresence is a praise, you know.
Yes, this is a
and
great
it's
mistake.
also charitable task we used to think, but thanks for letting us know that calling him, telling him as omnipresence is a sinful act.
Yes, and this is why people are suffering today. Because they put him in the pebbles and stones, they put him in the crocodiles, fish. God cannot exist in these places. So this is why, and people also called him the Supreme Soul. He is the Supreme Soul, but the souls of man is not the Supreme Soul. Yeah? So this is why they call out to God. But he can become ever present just through one thought. Not omnipresent. But the devil or Ravan is omnipresent. He is in everyone. Yeah? So this is why, you know, people go to the churches or the temples, they go to pray. If he was omnipresent, no need to go into the temples or churches. If he was omnipresent, they can rather pray to you or pray to themselves. But they know. One mind says he's not omnipresent. One mind knows he exists. So this is why this defamation led to man's suffering. Because he cannot be anywhere else. Yeah? If he was in every particle, then man would be happy. But unfortunately, they're not happy. They're suffering from Corona. If he was everywhere and omnipresent, no one would suffer from Corona. So Corona has come
Corona itself would have become the God, Bhaiji.
Exactly.
Should have not hurt anyone.
So, also, if he was omnipresent, people wouldn't go to the founders of religion and pray. So, it's a great mistake to say that God is omnipresent. This notion of omnipresence has to be finished. God has a place of abode, He has a form, He has a name, and He has attributes unlimitedly. So we'll move on.
Yes.
After understanding there is no omnipresence of God. Now I want to show you how God works through His 3 right-hand men. Yeah? This one is Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar. Here Brahma is shown in the human form. He has to be a human being to interact with human beings to create this organization, the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. Any questions on this?
No, you can move ahead.
So, if you look on the right hand side, there is a fence line. Yeah? On the left, souls with no love, with love. And on the right hand side, souls with no love. So the Father is asking you now, which Corona has come to advise us. What the Father is saying to us, you need not sit on the fence. You choose love or no love. Yeah? All those who choose love will go into the clan of Brahma. The new age. Creator offers reopening of new age. So this is reconstruction of this old world. And if you look at Shankar, He is in meditation, which is destroying all the negative sanskaras, negative attributes, negative activities, yeah, in concentration of the Divine Father. But also, he is the auditor to take the ones with no love. Like I said to you before, if a parent has 10 children, 5 are favorites. They're doing the right thing, following the rules and regulations of the parents. And the other 5 are doing the opposite things. Yeah? And if they want to build a new home, if the home is old, they will use certain ones to do the elevated task of the accounting, of the purchasing, of ordering. And the other ones, who is not interested, will be used as laborers. Yeah? Because they chose that path. So here too, we choose love or no love, positive or negativity, yeah? Happiness or sorrow. So this is how each one has to make a choice. The war is in their own mind between negative and positive. So we'll move on.
Yes, Vaj.
This is a picture of the rosary. Yeah? In every religion, they use this rosary of 108. The tassel represents the Creator, and the other 2 beads represents the number 1 couple of the world, which is Radha and Krishna. Yeah? Then the rosary of 8, the perfect 8 jewels. Then the rosary of 108. And thereafter, the rosary of 16,108. Now, turning the beads, is it physical or spiritual?
Of course, it is physical.
Physical. So, when one turns his beads, 30% of energy is going on the posture. Yeah?
Yeah.
Another 30% on physically moving the beads. And another 30% is on the mantra. Yeah? The counting the beads, physical, 30%. How many percent do you think you're giving to God?
Hardly 10%.
Hardly 10%. Can you see? So meditation teaches us to catch before we perform a physical action, to come out of devotion, which is physical, and go into spiritual. So meditation or yoga is catching it at the thought level, because actions are preceded by thoughts. Yeah? So it's important to understand, before we perform the action, we take the thought from Atma to Paramatma, or soul to Supreme Soul. So another importance of this rosary is that these are the souls who worked with God, the Creator, very, very closely to transform this world. So the rosary of Shiva or Rudra will eventually become the rosary of Vishnu, Randa. And they will go into the golden age. So Corona has come to tell us, you have an option to perform adulterated devotion or unadulterated devotion. Yeah? When you perform unadulterated devotion, means to the only one Father and no one physical, you become a bead of that rosary. Understand?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Now, this picture here is to tell you, Corona has come to warn us that the Father is saying to us, people want to become purified. They cry out to God, oh, Divine Father, please come and purify this dirty world. Do not think He does not listen. He comes at His accurate time. But because they're impure, they're saying, Father, purify us. They think God is in the river Ganges. Because there is a temple called Shiva Kashi. Instead of worshipping God Shiva, they are bathing in the Ganges. Water can only cleanse the 5 elements of matter in the body, because it's a 5 element. So, now we should move away from the physical and concentrate on the spiritual.
The Creator.
Yeah, the Creator. Any questions on this one?
No, let's move on, Bhaiji.
So the purifier is God, our Creator, Father Shiva, and not the 5 elements of matter. If you look at this slide, we've come here to hand all our defects. Father Shiva says, you have to give a donation. He does not need your money because he is bodiless. You have to donate your bad habits, your 5 vices, all your defects, corruption, bad deeds, bad actions. Now is the time. And this is the sacrificial fire of the knowledge of Rudra. On the path of devotion, they make an actual sacrificial fire, physical fire. But this fire is between soul to Supreme Soul. And the Divine Father guarantees you a pure divine birth in your next birth. Guaranteed, if you hand and donate all your bad habits. Any questions?
Now let's move on, Bhaiji. No.
Okay. I just want to explain the opposition force to you. Yeah? A lot of people who's experiencing corona, they are indulging in the opposition force, which is against the Creator. So corona has come to warn us that when we indulge in the first vice, which is sex lust, then anger follows, then greed follows, attachment follows, ego follows. Yeah? Take a look at the first one. Sex lust leads to laziness, procrastination, always pushing things forward. Yeah? What's the suffering for that is sickness. And after that, unhappiness is experienced. So if we donate these 5 vices to the Father, the soul is ready to become pure and clean by the concentration with this Raja Yoga meditation. We'll move on to the next slide. I just want to show you where the bad habits and the bad karma is situated in the soul. It is situated subconsciously in the subconscious mind. Each one has a profit and loss statement. As we come down 5,000 years, we lose our spiritual energy, and as a result, we perform bad habits. Now, on meeting the Father at 4,984 years, we have the power to erase all the losses, yeah, and gain our profits. This is inversely proportional, the losses and profits. So, the losses increases, the profits decreases as we come down the cycle. But this last 100 years, it so happened to be now, 84th year, that we can change all our losses to profits. And this is what Corona is telling us. Each and every one has got a chance to work with the Creator. This is why the acronym goes, Creator offers reopening of New Age.
So this lockdown has also brought about a lot of changes in the minds of people, I think,
Yes.
Bhaiji. Because they kept on saying, complaining, we don't have time to give time to the self or the Supreme Self. But this is how Corona again has, is helping God, helping us to be part of His task.
Yes, now deep in everyone's heart, they want to make spiritual endeavor. They are beginning to realize that times are changing. And nothing outside is valuable than the soul and the Supreme Soul. Yeah? So this slide shows you there will be many test papers after taking this knowledge. But the final test paper is on leaving the body. If you leave the body in soul consciousness, Atma, and remembering Paramatma, your next birth is guaranteed to be a divine birth, a happy birth. God gives you that guarantee. Now, we are learning through this Corona project.
That's why there is a saying in Hindi, Antamate Sogate, that's your final thoughts lead you
to your destination. Very, very true. So can we move on?
Yes, Bhaiji.
So we have to be careful. Anything can happen, whether it's corona, other diseases or natural calamities or the Third World War. Remember this final test paper to bring the Creator in your mind. Or take your mind to the Creator. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone talks about total annihilation, but there is no total annihilations. All those who are close to God, the Supreme Father, will be safe. Because the world has to go across to be recreated. And all those are going through the destruction, natural calamities, corona, they will leave their body. Because they are adamant. Yeah? Some want to follow God, some want to follow the opposition power. So, those who are saved will go into the new world for reconstruction. To build the palaces, get everything ready for the first Prince of Heaven, Krishna. It's these Brahman souls. Any questions?
No, I'm satisfied.
Those who are in meditation have the canopy of protection of the Divine Father. So establishment and destruction takes place at this very same time. Now, I want you to take a look at this picture. As we mentioned, when the soul connects with the Supreme Soul, it invokes divine intervention. And this is a method of the soul gaining power from the Supreme Soul. If I ask you the speed of light is instantaneous. I've got it on the top there, it's written on the top. It's very, very, very fast. The Supreme Father is light energy. The soul or Atma is also light energy.
Yeah.
And thought power is light energy. All we have to do is be in the awareness that we are a spirit or a soul and connect directly with the Supreme Soul. Yeah? And this is what actually enables the soul to burn away all the sins of the past, many births. And this is when the soul gains power. And also purity of the soul begins to shine. And this is why the deities have a halo of light. It means that the soul is becoming pure. So, in order to return to Paramdam, this yoga has to be practiced every day, minimum for 8 hours if possible. Mm-hmm. So, this is a direct connection, bypassing everyone physical. So, Raja Yoga meditation means soul pulling the Supreme Soul and the Supreme Soul pulling the soul. And this is how it should be. For the soul to burn all the sins of the past. Now, through what's happening in the world today, this corona, worries, problems, it's best to go to bed early, make sure you get enough sleep, to build your spiritual immunity and your physical immunity, and hand all your burdens to the Father before you go to bed. And wake up early in the morning. For those who have followed this presentation and got the introduction of the Supreme Father, the Father has the hands of blessings on those from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. especially in the morning. So to wake up early in the morning and perform this meditation called Amrit Vela. It's the nectar of power, nectar of knowledge, nectar of purity. Any questions on this one?
No, don't have any.
Okay. All Creator asks of you is to become His helper. And to become God's helper, the helper of the Creator, is to become an angel of God. Yeah? Angels means one who is performing pure deeds, thoughts, words, actions. So the more closer we become to God, the more clean we become, the more pure vibrations we radiate, the more help we help in society. The return of the fruit of our karma, we enjoy that in the next birth. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Bhaiji.
We've come to the end of the session, and this is where you will do the commentary.
Yeah, definitely, sure.
Any questions?
No, it was a fabulous, wonderful explanation. about the Creator and the Corona and its effect, how to free oneself with Corona's effect. Wonderful, Bhaiji. I'm very thankful to you for your presentation all the way from South Africa, Australia. You've been here for your presentation.
So on behalf of the Creator, God our Heavenly Father, I send all the viewers lots of love, joy, peace, good wishes, and God's richest blessings. Om Shanti.
Let us have commentary meditation for a few minutes. Just sit relaxed and follow the thoughts that I am going to speak to you. Oh Corona, dear, you have taught me so much about myself, friends, family, relatives, immunity, exercise, nature, work, life, balance, compassion, love, etc. Corona, I accept you as my compassionate teacher, which I embrace with love and wisdom. Corona is part of the drama, and drama is now forcing us to make elevated effort. We need only to see the benefits and detach from sorrow and suffering. When the soul is pure and clean in every thought, word, deed and action, nothing can affect the soul. The soul with purity is a self-sovereign and has full right of control and protection over the self and situations that surround it. Now, I endeavor to make intense spiritual effort to look only at the self and not others, to heal and cleanse the self, to go deep within and remove all defects, and to ask for forgiveness in all wrong actions and karma. To show my gratitude and thanks to our Divine Father for bestowing blessings, light and might upon me and my beloved ones. I now understand who the Creator of the new world order is. My Heavenly God, the Father, who is not a human being, a subtle point of radiant energy, the bodiless one, the ever powerful and ever positive force in the entire universe, the only purifier who will purify I, the soul, through the intense Raj Yoga meditation, where I gain the canopy of His protection as Divine Mother and Father. Now, I choose to use the correct method in order to heal myself, the soul, the spirit, that is, connecting I, the soul, with the Supreme Father. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.